Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. Guild's Ravnica preview season is a bit more than halfway done, but we still have a bunch to cover today, including some crazy weird enchantments, a glaive that definitely isn't a glaive, and a lot more. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, remember to hit that like button right down there, it helps out a lot. Glaive of the Guildpact is 2 mana for an artifact equipment with an equip cost of 3. Equip creature gets +1/+0 for each gate you control and has vigilance and menace. I don't know about you, but that does not look like a glaive to me. That's a sword, right? That is certainly not a glaive. This is a glaive. That's a sword, really hurting my immersion. Wizards uncool. Anyways, the card's an interesting payoff for running a bunch of gates. It does grant vigilance, which is okay, but I do enjoy the pseudo-evasion of menace. It isn't an overly powerful card, but if a gate deck ever exists anywhere, this is just fine in that, I guess. Hunted Witness is 1 white mana for a 1/1 human. When it dies, create a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink. Say hello to Doomed Traveler's long-lost brother. The only difference is they replace flying with lifelink. The reason we're talking about this card is that I expect an Aristocrats deck to exist. I mean, we have Golgari and Selesnya in the same set. Abzan Aristocrats must have a chance here. And if it does, it doesn't matter that the Witness is a common. It's perfect for that kind of deck. Great for early game chumping, late game sacrificing. I am a-okay with this card. Enhanced Surveillance is 2 mana for an enchantment. You may look at an additional 2 cards each time you surveil. You can also exile the Surveillance to shuffle your graveyard into your library. This card is wonky and hilarious. 2 mana for an enchantment that makes your surveils way stronger. It's okay. Probably won't make the main deck of anything unless you found a way to draft a ridiculous surveil deck in Limited, and you need this card so you don't mill yourself and die, or so you can get +2 surveils forever and just win off of the insane value you're getting. I like the Surveillance. It's cheap and efficient, but probably won't have a place outside of a Limited in surveil heavy decks, if that. Creeping Chill is 4 mana for a sorcery. It deals 3 damage to each opponent, and you gain 3 life. When the chill is put into your graveyard from your library, you may exile it. If you do, it deals 3 damage to each opponent and you gain 3 life. Hot dang, this is some sweet kind of surveil payoff right here. How do you feel about bolting everyone at the table and gaining 3 life for free? Because I'm pretty excited. This seems sweet. You don't have to pay the cast. The trigger just happens. If you get 4 of these into a deck with a heavy self-mill engine, that's 12 damage to your opponent and 12 life for you. Creeping Chill almost wins the game by itself. Looking at you, Doom Whisperer. Help this sorcery out. Look, with Surveil running around and control decks getting a bit of support, this is a viable control card to me. 4 mana to gain some life and whack your opponent, I'm in. That life gain is going to be great in Standard. I have to try and build this too. Lotleth Giant is 7 mana for a 6/5 zombie giant with Undergrowth. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target opponent for each creature card in your graveyard. Okay, I think this is being overlooked a bit, but Undergrowth and Surveil are basically best friends. Surveil fuels Undergrowth in an absurd way, and because of that, Sultai Undergrowth /Surveil decks can totally be a thing. The Giant's a big fatty, but in the right deck, it can come down as a 6/5 and bring 3 to 4 damage with it, maybe more. Powerful enough to see limited play for sure, as it dodges a ton of damage-based removal. It's an interesting card. Book Devourer is 6 mana for a 4/5 beast with trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard all the cards in your hand if you do draw that many cards. So this is a card I want to like because honestly, the beast is eating books. That's hilarious. But the problem is that even in Commander, I'm not sure this makes the cut. Now it is card filtering in red, which is coveted, but there's a lot of card filtering in red, I expect this will make the 99 a lot of budget builds in Commander, but I think there are simply too many safer options in regular EDH builds that this creature would take the slot of. I like you, book-eating dude, but you're destined for Limited, friend. Vivid Revival is 5 mana for a sorcery. Return up to 3 target multicolored cards from your graveyard to your hand, exile the Revival. Normally I stay away from cards like these, but it's really difficult to ignore the +2 in card advantage, especially in a format like Commander. Think about all of the multicolored creatures in Commander decks. Lord Windgrace's deck, Muldrotha, Atraxa, Marin, and Golgari alone, Vivid Revival can keep bringing back your bombs. I'm not saying this is the best card in the world or anything, it's certainly bad everywhere else, but it is meant for Commander, and it will absolutely be useful there 100%, don't knock it till you try it. Detour is 4 mana for a sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands or gates and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Sure, Wizards, let's print a strictly better explosive vegetation and just stick it into standard, fantastic, amazing. You green mages must be so giddy I can't even imagine it. It isn't often we get incredibly efficient and powerful ramp spells, not like this, but here we are. Detour is a house, foil copies are going to be worth a bunch, just wow, it's a fantastic card. Rough translation, Giant Soldier is 4 of anything, 1 red and 1 white for a 5/5 Giant Soldier with Vigilance. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to each creature defending player controls. I love that this trigger is on attack. It'll wipe out any small defenders in its way and force your opponent to trade something larger. It is a 5/5, so I don't think it's getting beaten in combat very easily, especially after pinging everything. Solid limited card, 6 mana for a 5/5 with a keyword and removal. Yikes, that's an early pick for sure. Swiftblade Vindicator is 1 red and 1 white for a 1/1 human soldier with double strike, vigilance, and trample. This is exactly something I'd expect the Boros to get. This card is crazy strong with even just a +1/+1 boost on it. Double strike and trample are both relevant when it comes to power and toughness. With every additional piece of power the Vindicator receives, it's basically like getting 2 power. Double Strike is incredibly strong. Add Trample to that, and you're looking to get an enchant creature aura onto this, or a pump spell, really just anything. Strong card in an aggressive Boros deck that has combat tricks. Could easily see standard play because of that. Don't let the 1/1 sway you, this is a rare for a reason. Conclave Centaur is double green and double white for a 4/4 Centaur Knight with Vigilance. When it dies, create 2 green and white 2/2 Elf Knight tokens with Vigilance. Wowza, talk about living beyond your years. 4 mana for a 4/4 with Vigilance that leaves another 4 power and toughness when it dies, and it adds to the Convoke monster. I really do get why the mana costs are so intense. This is quintessential Selesnya, and it creates knights, and it is a knight. Selesnya Knights, looking pretty interesting, just saying. Rough translation, Ledev Captain is 1 of anything, 1 green and 1 white for a 2/2 Elf Knight. Whenever it attacks, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. The Captain gets +1/+1 for each creature tapped this way until end of turn. You can also pay 5 mana and create a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink. This card is decent for limited. The high activation cost of the ability proves that. 3 mana for a 2/2 without any keywords is a bit but you get to Convoke to buff it in combat, so that isn't so bad. Honestly, the best use for this is the late game board stall breaker in limited. Those 1/1 lifelinking soldiers will end games. Damir Spy Bug is 1 blue and 1 black for a 1/1 insect with flying and menace. Whenever you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on the Spybug. Imagine this and Doom Whisper in the same deck whole of butts. You drop the Spybug, drop the Whisper, pay 10 life to surveil 5 times. Now you have a 6/6 flying menace bug in addition to your giant demon. I'm just saying. As already stated in this video, surveil's looking pretty dang good, and that demon is an all-star as far as I'm concerned. The Spybug is a decent payoff card in limited that comes with double evasion, but I think it's more than efficient enough for a standard shell. Aggressively costed, all payoff all the time. Dimir, y'all looking so dumb. Disinformation Campaign is 1 of anything, 1 blue and 1 black for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you may draw a card and each opponent discards a card. Whenever you surveil, return the campaign to its owner's hand. Dang it, I can't even run this in Nath of the Guildleaf. That hurts a little bit. The card's weird. You're basically getting hand attack over and over again as long as you surveil. Drawing a card each time is what makes this an uncommon, and it will help you get through your deck faster, but in limited it probably isn't worth it. Maybe in Commander because it targets everyone, but you know the second you drop this, everyone is going to hate you. It's your call. Totally up to you whether or not you want your friends to despise everything you stand for. That's totally your call. Another day of Guilds of Ravnica spoilers done. I know I sound like a broken record, but I honestly can't stop. The Dimir looks so good, I can't help it. Maybe it's just I really like control, but come on. You have to admit that guild is coming to win. What do you think? Do you think Dimir is as good as I think it is? Which guild are you looking at for pre-release? We have to start thinking about that as the event is in 2 weeks. Please, share your thoughts below and we'll talk about it. And you know, I need friends, so just please be my friend. Anyways, stay tuned to the channel for more Guilds of Ravnica nonsense coming at you real soon. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Guilds of Ravnica preview season is zooming along, and Guilds of Ravnica boxes are zooming off of the digital shelves. If you don't have a local game store or yours charges way too much, you can pre-order boxes of the newest set right now on TCG Player for $91 each. That's such a good price. You'll get fast as heck shipping, adorable customer service, you help the channel, so I will obviously love you to death, and I'll send you a free Black Lotus from Alpha, BGS Grade 11. Yep, totally gonna do that. Enjoy. Seriously, it's a sword. It's not a glaive. Who approved that? Why am I still looking? We're not even shooting. Who approved that?